probably shouldn't share this, and in all honesty, I might delete it. But what happened on the shoot was an absolute train wreck. No names, no details, just how skipping pre-production turned a simple shoot into absolute chaos, and lessons you can take away so that you never end up in the same mess.
This day is probably going to crash and burn.
Pre-production is you make the mistakes in your brain before you get to set, and you go, oh, let's not do that, let's not do that, let's do this.
Yep. Not only did it not have pre-production, it didn't have a plan.
Why do we have to help you mess up so that you learn, like, gosh, why can't we? The real takeaway is it didn't have to take that long.
Those were our thoughts driving away, so now let's rewind and see exactly how this whole thing fell apart with no names, no details.
We are headed out of our shoot that did not have pre-production.
Not only did it not have pre-production, it didn't have a plan.
Yeah, you are right. There was not even a plan. I tried on calls with them to try to establish a plan. We couldn't get one. It was very much wing it. All of us out in the sun all day. The real takeaway is it didn't have to take that long. When my contact called me, he said, hey, we want to do a training video. We want to do it at our shop. I said, hey, whoever's doing your training, do they know what we're doing? Do they have their script? Do they know their stuff? Or do they need a teleprompter? And he's like, oh no, this guy knows. He knows what he wants to do. He's got it. Yeah, we're doing this at your office in controlled lighting. We can probably do this in 2 hours. And yesterday he called me and said, hey, change of plans. We're actually going to go out in the field and do this shoot. It's like, okay, I can guarantee you it's going to take longer in the field. And the whole time was just, oh, let's figure this out. Let's figure this out. It was just winging it the whole time. And then we had to go to 4 different locations to find the right location.
I think that they were overstepping their bounds in the sense of, I know what your job takes. It's not going to take you that long. We'll figure it out. And I really feel like this one should have been a, look, we're going to put our foot down and tell you no, unless you give us more information. Because otherwise, this day is going to be a disaster. And then what's going to end up happening is they're going to pay us double for a job that's not worth double.
Yeah.
And then that makes us look bad in your eyes. You'll never call us again. And what's worse is that could spread a bad word of mouth through the community. So, like for audio, we had no idea what we were doing. We didn't know if we were going to run a live because there was 2 people going to be speaking, 3 people going to be speaking. We didn't know. When we finally got the guy on camera, it was just one guy, and I was like, oh, we could have just ran a boom with the blimp on it. That would have been perfect. But we didn't know. Yeah. And we don't go into situations that unprepared. The only time we'll ever do something like that is like a wedding or something very, very loose like that. It's never that unplanned. And even weddings are more planned than that.
Yeah, because you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, we've never gone.
There was zero plan. And the reason we couldn't get a plan from the clients because they didn't have one.
We would like for them to spread our name around and say, hey, they're great to work with, hire them.
They did a good job.
Yeah. And even though we did do a good job, it looks like we didn't because unprepared. But that wasn't our fault. But we're not going to argue. That's how business goes. You don't argue with the client. No, it's his fault. Even though it is their fault, there's a certain extent where we put our foot down and say, no, if you don't want to do it like this, then please don't hire us, hire someone else. And then they'll look bad. And then they won't work with them anymore. And then we'll be the number 2 guy to go to.
Right.
Yeah, but you live and learn. I mean, that's how it goes sometimes too. Like, okay, we're learning.
On the outset, the job looked like a decent job because what ultimately is the issue is I wasn't able to talk to the right people beforehand because, like you said, I didn't put my foot down and I didn't say, I need to see a plan on paper, and they didn't have one. And I let that slide because I said, okay, that's fine. We can just wing it. I mean, the day before they were changing things, like drastically changing, like from we're going to film this in our shop to we're going out on a location. Thank you, Sunburn.
And we've done that before, though. It's not like we've done that before and been successful.
And that's the thing is ultimately, with our experience, we can make anything successful. we can make this successful.
I think
It's just that we don't want to.
I could say that it definitely wasn't up to the level of production that we've been at.
Yes.
Recently.
Because we want to do a better job.
Yeah, we're at a new level of production, and we're charging new level prices.
Right.
And so,
I mean, they did get the videographer price for this because I was just like, look, I could tell this is a videographer gig, and so they were getting a videographer price. They were not paying the typical Story King production price. They were paying for 2 videographers.
oh, okay, then I don't feel so bad.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't really feel bad for them in the sense of it's not like we charge them $10,000 to give them a $2,000 product. Like they only paid a videographer price. We're in a hard spot.
Yeah, as we were shooting, I was like, man, had we known that, we would have brought the teleprompter. Had we known that, we would have brought out the boom mic with the blimp.
Yeah.
Had we known that, we would have brought out an 8x or a 12x, right? Just everything would have been a little bit smoother, so that it would have been at least up to our standards as production.
Right. If we would have, and it's like we're out here and the wind was just all over the place. And from all directions. Like there was no answer. Like, oh, the wind's coming this way. It was coming from every direction. And it kept changing. I mean, like knowing what we know now, if we would have been able to and this is what pre-production is. Pre-production is you make the mistakes in your brain before you get to set and you go, oh, let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let's do this.
Yep.
That's what pre-production is for. It's for limiting the mistakes that you're going to make on set. And it's
not all on our end either. The kind of the mastermind and the talent didn't have he should have had like a 10-15 step plan of my workers do this and then I explain it like this, and he was making it all up on the spot,
on the fly,
because he was supposed to be a rock star who knew how to. But it was like, okay,
right.
that's. And again, it's something that we have to communicate to them. Like, I understand if I put you on a podium, you're gonna knock this out the park, but it's different. You can't be doing ums and ahs and
that's what I was talking to him about afterwards. He when he was asking me like, oh, like how was it? Whatever. It's just like, well, we were winging it.
It's rough. It sounded like you were winging it.
Yeah, like it sounds like you're winging it. There's a lot of pauses. There's hesitations. There's like, and that's what I told him. Like, look, typically this stuff is going to be scripted. And he's like, yeah, I see, that makes sense. And I'm just like, he's like, because I'm the lead trainer. I'm like, look, like I can tell your stuff,
right?
But making that come across on video is like video's different.
It's different.
And he's like, yeah, I see that now.
One of the other things that
just like, gosh, why do we have to help you mess up so that you learn? Like, gosh, why can't we? But again, pre-production. If we, and that also means time. Like because it was a rush job. Like I first talked to him last week, and it was rush for next week, and then it was change, and then we got on site and more changes. It just, it was not planned out. And if we would have planned it out, if we would have known, if he would have had a script, if he would have had an outline that we were working off of, if just even a bare bones outline would have made things better and smoother. Like, okay, even right now, just in retrospect, if we had to do the exact same thing, it would be like, well, we need an outline, number one, at the very least, if not a script. 2, if you're going to do this live voiceover thing, then what we're going to do is we're going to find a spot for you that's not in the sun, it's comfortable, it's protected from the wind. We're going to give you a monitor so that you can just watch what's happening from wherever you are, because you have to see it and react to it.
Yeah.
Like I was telling him, like, look, these things, these training videos, it's not a commercial. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be good, but it doesn't have to be perfect. And maybe we can edit it and it'll be good enough. Or maybe you're going to need to redo the voiceover. Visually, again, we got it. We saw what we needed to see, and we have it. But even the visuals were not my favorite, Like we needed the bounce, but we couldn't get it in there because we had to show a full head-to-toe wide shot. And it's like, we got a crew of 2 guys outside. We can't set up an 8x ultra bounce and let that stand there. It's a sail. Like that's a major safety issue. We couldn't have done that.
I mean, the other thing is that when you're thinking on the fly like that, you make rush decisions.
Yeah.
So we're getting angles. Like there were, just as I was kind of telling you while we were getting the shot, it was like, just stay there. I'll get the action. but you were like, well, let me get this. And it's like, we're going to ruin that shot. I already know in the edit. But we didn't get to figure any of this out in production.
Right. Yeah, there was no, like, we couldn't even see what the action was. Like, we was literally filming it for the first time. Like, we'd never seen the action. There's a few things we got to say, let's do that again. Smaller things and film it better a second time. But it was a process we were unfamiliar with. Just the whole thing was absolute new for the first time. Never seen this before. Hope we got it. And you're thinking on the fly the entire time, which is not the way you get the best result. Again, if you have a script and you know, we're going to say this, we're going to show this, we're going to say this, we're going to show this, we're going to say this, we're going to show this. It's in sections. It's not this long roll of, what is this? When do we stop? Where are we going? Because that's the other thing. Everything was long roll and just voice it over and call things out as you see them. And are we supposed to keep this? Are we supposed to cut this? I don't know. I don't remember if you were standing there when I was telling the clients, like, so we have way more footage. Like, we captioned way more than what you said we had. Like you said, this was 30 minutes and it's not. We have 45 minutes or an hour of content here. So what we'll do is we'll cut it as short as we can see feasible. That might be 45 minutes, might be an hour. We'll send it to you and we'll let you guys decide what else needs to get cut out, because this is your training content. And if it's not clear, like, oh, that's garbage, cut that out, then we're going to leave it in and let you guys decide what needs to be removed from there, because it's way more than it was supposed to be. And we don't know which things are important. You can say what things are not important and we'll cut those, and then we'll cut them out. But this is just not the ideal process. And like you said, it's just kind of like, how do we not look bad to the client in this whole process?
Yeah.
Like when we rolled up on site and it was 1 o'clock and I was like, hey, just so you know, your half day is over at 1 o'clock and it's 1 o'clock. So we're on to hourly now. He's like, oh, that's fine. He's like, oh, it'll only take like an hour. I'm like, this will take at least 2 hours. He's like, I think it's only gonna take an hour. I'm like, well, it might be only an hour's worth of content, but it's gonna take at least 2 hours to film. And it was 3.5 hours. Because again, they didn't have a plan.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a good principle to, because again, you can always be like, look, I'm just going to take your money and roll. But that's not good business in a service-based business. You know?
Yeah.
You know, especially if you're looking for repeat business, which that's what we want. We want repeat business. We want to keep, you know, clients coming back. And so, and again, word of mouth.
Yeah.
So I would just think on the outset, it's one of those things where it's like, look, I'm noticing that we said that, you know, you were going to do this and the plans are just changing so drastically. I'm knowing that I've been in this long enough to know you're not prepared for what we're about to do. And we're going to charge you a good amount of money for it. So I need you to understand that this might not happen. You need to, you know, show me some more work. Like, in other words, just pressing them for more plan. Or, I don't know. I don't know if you would say just drop it, but I don't know. It's just one of those things where you press them hard enough to say, look, we need a plan. There needs to be a plan. And that you nag them so much, it's like, okay, I better get a plan. This guy knows what he's talking about, right?
I mean, if nothing else, at this point, we have a real story of an actual shoot that went wrong. Next time somebody says, I want to do this, it's like, well, we can do it that way if you want, but this is what's probably going to happen. We're going to take what should be 2 hours. It's going to take all day. It's going to cost you 4 times as much as you thought. It's going to be way more filming. It's going to be way more editing. Or you can make a plan.
Yep.
And we can do this in a reasonable amount of time. It's up to you. If you want to write the check and you want to pay us 4 times as much, we'll take your money.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, your idea that we can wing it in 2 hours is not going to happen.
Yeah.
Unless we're filming an event. Like, oh, we're putting on a training seminar. It's 2 hours long. Come film it. Okay.
Yeah,
that will take 2 hours. But if we're doing this for video, if you don't have a plan, there's no way it's going to happen because the amount of winging it, the amount of pivoting we had to do today. And it's like, there's still things that it's like, okay, we have to remember that these shots are out of sequence. These things go here because the situation wasn't ideal, we had to shoot certain things out of order, and it's like, we have to remember to put those back in order. We are still rolling.
27 minutes.
Well, like I said, it's a podcast at this point.
At this point.
That we might not show anybody. So the conclusion to this rant about pre-production is pre-production's important. And if you don't have it, you can waste a lot of time on set. You can waste a lot of time in editing. And there's a fine line between the client's responsibility and your responsibility, our responsibility for pre-production. Because, yeah, it's on them, but at the same time, we're the professionals. We should be able to give guidance. We should be able to say, hey, do you realize you're walking into a trap? Hey, do you realize you're walking into a bad situation? Not a trap, but, a bad situation.
Yeah, you're sabotaging yourself.
Yeah, you're sabotaging yourself, and we've done this enough times that we can see it. On the other hand, it's like, well, we're already here. Everyone's already here on site. Like, what are you going to do? Say, let's all go home and plan this out and fly back out? It's like, that's the hard part, because it's like, okay, we're already in too far. It's like, by the time it's obvious, you're in too far. It comes down to pre-production before the day of production. Because the day of production, you're in too far. Like, what are you going to do? Cancel the shoot? Like, you could. Like, that's an option. But, goodness, what a mess. What a waste of resources. Like, we're not just going to refund you the full price of the day when you cancel day of. Like, that's not how it works.
Yeah, I think the bottom line is that you continue insisting until you get what you need to get. It's a continual insistence on,
Yeah.
we need a plan, until it's like, okay, we've gone far enough. You're not giving me a plan. So let me make this very painfully clear to you.
Yeah.
This day is probably going to crash and burn.
Yeah.
And we can give you a better, we could give you a better product. So crash and burn is probably a little dramatic, but in other words, it's not going to be as nice or as good as we wanted it to be.
Yeah.
And then also understand that we are incurring upon ourselves much more stress.
Yeah.
Because a lot of that
And
stress,
sunburns.
that didn't need to be there.
And we didn't know we were going to be outside all day. We would have brought an ice chest full of cold water if we knew that.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, we were supposed to be done at 1:00.
Thankfully, one of the workers out there had one. So
Yeah.
he was refilling our water, so I was grateful for him. Nice guy, too.
Yeah.
But, just, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, did we make sure they have a plan? Because life, and the thing is that had they have done what we wanted and given us a plan, then on this side, if we were to ever do this again with this client, and they do the plan that we tell them to do, 100%, they'll be like, oh my gosh, this is so much better. The product's
Right.
better. The process was better. I sound good. I look better. Yeah, all of
Right.
that because you followed the plan. Because I think there was a time where we just kind of ran with the punches. That's what we call it, videographer.
Right.
Where,
And that's what we signed up for today. You just forget how much it sucks. Because we're so used to
we're in a new mode.
We're so used to doing corporate and stuff, which is not videographer.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I just was like, this is not fun. I think what we can do is we can very clearly say, if you're not giving me a written plan, like the week before the shoot, which is the clear way of saying this is planned out. If there's not a written plan, like a week before the shoot, then our disclaimer to you, not saying we're not going to take the job, But our disclaimer to you is this will probably take twice as long as you think. And it will probably cost twice as much as you think. And if you want to come in with no plan, then the way we will do this with you is we will work hourly, because there's no plan and there's no quote we can give you because you don't have a plan. Therefore, we can't quote you on no plan. So if you want to do it that way, this is the way we will approach the project. And it will cost you more, probably double what it would cost you if we start with a plan. And I think that's where we go. And if they go, well, I'm sure it's only going to take an hour, great. Well, then we'll come out and we'll find out who's right and who's wrong. Because I don't think it's only going to take an hour. You can hire us by the hour. We'll come out. But we're probably going to be right. And it's probably going to take 2 to 4 times as long as you think. And the more variables you add, the more time it will take. I think that's as far as we can go with it. It's just a very clear disclaimer.
Yep.
We can do it your way, by the hour. Because that's the most expensive way. And if you're going to stress us out, you're paying top dollar, which is by the hour.
Yeah.
I think that does it for today's episode. Talking about the truth of working with clients and things that can and do go wrong. Because it does happen.
Yeah.
That's it. Have a good one.